recall, I had read somewhere in your application that the reason you told Snellville you moved up here was because you were following a girlfriend.
Yeah, it was at the time when we had broke up.
But you just told me a different answer as to why you left Richmond. They didn't name their source. They didn't actually name you. You named yourself.
But everybody.
Have been seeing, currently seeing a psychologist or psychiatrist.
Yeah.
My therapist, I love my therapist. If I know she watching, my therapist live in Florida. I'm telling you, I'm mental health.
Hello and welcome to another installment of VS1 video. In this video, we shall conduct a thorough investigation into the conduct of Alfonso Forrest Jr., a former law enforcement officer who served in the Richmond County Sheriff's Office in Augusta, Georgia, and the Snellville Police Department in Snellville, Georgia. Mr. Forrest was accused of committing multiple offenses. Specifically, we shall delve into the details of the murder investigation concerning the untimely demise of Felicia Harris. Our objective in this video is to compile and analyze 4 interviews to scrutinize Mr. Forrest's rehearsed narrative and systematically dismantle his fabrications with meticulous attention to detail. It is Mr. Forrest's assertion that he was a social media influencer, which he repeatedly highlights in the interviews. Interestingly, Mr. Forrest has since deleted all his social media profiles. The act of deleting one's influencer social media warrants further exploration. If you enjoy our content, please consider subscribing and please like and share. Thank you. It is imperative to acknowledge that we made considerable efforts to obtain the body camera footage of Alfonso Forrest on the day of Felicia's unfortunate demise, which occurred on October 3, 2020. Regrettably, our open records requests were refused. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office cited that the body camera recordings from that day are categorized under an investigative file, thus making them inaccessible. Despite this setback, we have successfully secured other body camera footage that vividly depicts the genuine Alfonso Forrest. Please find the complete playlist below this video and in the pinned comment for your perusal.
Hey man, hey. Don't worry about his handcuffs right now, man. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Let's talk about you a little bit. I need to find out some things about you. How's your health? Generally, good? Okay.
I got asthma, but other than that, I'm healthy.
Okay. How much sleep did you get last night?
I fell asleep about 10:30, I think, when it was 8 o'clock.
Okay. And what time did you get up?
About 7.
When'd you last eat?
Last night.
Okay. Currently or recently been under any doctor's care?
No.
And currently on any medication?
No, just asthma.
Okay. Have been seeing or currently seeing a psychologist or psychiatrist?
No.
My therapist, I love my therapist. If I know she watching, my therapist live in Florida. I'm telling you, I'm mental health.
And is there any other medical condition I should be aware of besides the asthma?
No, at Forrest, I went to a mental health facility back in February of this year.
Okay.
I stayed there. I went there on February 12th, my uncle's birthday. Stayed there 21 days.
Okay. And did they prescribe any medication or anything for you afterwards? Or?
They did. I took medicine when I was there. I was on Rimron, I think.
Okay.
Zoloft.
Okay.
And I think that was it.
Okay. And currently using any type of illegal drugs?
No.
And what are they doing?
Creating a life.
Creating a lie. They get rid of a lie. You know it. It's immediate. Immediate. When you start going down that road, it's a lie. I'm going to ask you some questions. I want you to think back before this year, and only of a serious or significant nature, but before this year.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever tell a lie to someone who trusted you?
ChatGPT states asking someone if they have ever lied to someone that trusts them is a common tactic used by polygraph examiners to establish a baseline for the person being tested. This baseline is used as a reference point for the rest of the test. If the person being tested is truthful when answering this question, it can help establish a pattern of truthful behavior. Furthermore, this question may also be used to gauge the person's level of honesty and integrity. If the person being tested admits to having lied to someone that trusts them, it may indicate that they are willing to be honest about their past behavior, which could be seen as a positive trait. However, if the person being tested denies ever lying to someone that trusts them, it could indicate that they are not willing to be truthful, which may cast doubt on the rest of their responses during the test.
Did you ever tell a lie to someone who trusted you?
No.
Okay. Before this year, did you ever tell a lie to stay out of trouble?
No.
And before this year, did you ever lie to cover up something?
No.
Okay. So, other than the fact that you're here to take a polygraph exam, why are you here?
Because somebody allegedly said that I had involvement with a homicide.
Okay.
Saw the article, my name not in it, but everybody knows obviously who they was talking about because I'm sitting here.
How did it come about? I mean, explain to me, tell me the whole deal.
I told you I went back to, I went to a mental health facility in February with my uncle's birthday. Doing this whole death, man, I just been dealing with like depression, man. Me and Vernon was close. He was close in the family. If you look at some of his fights and stuff, Vernon never really fought during the winter time because he always said that was, you know, time where he wanted to spend with his family.
Okay.
So usually around his birthday, his death date, and during the holidays and stuff like that, I usually like get myself distance, you know, so I can just like try to grieve in peace. I don't want to be around nobody and stuff like that. So it hit me hard last winter. My grandma was sick, and you know, her just listening to the story with her son, you know, and it just bothered me. And I didn't have a nervous breakdown at work, but I did at home. I was drinking, and EAP lady came out from, she lived in, I think I want to say Lexington, don't quote me on it, I think, but she was about an hour away from Augusta. And she called her night shift supervisor that was in the zone that I live. He said, hey, can you find Forrest? You know, he called me, said he was going through depression or whatever, he just got a lot on his mind. His phone is off. What happened was, I actually went dead. I was at a lake. I went home. I was with my girlfriend at the time. I went to her house and it went dead. So he.
Well, at least you were with her when it did being dead, because you really had a problem, man.
Yeah.
You don't mess with her.
Yeah. No. But
You know she ain't gonna believe it.
I know. But he found my house, started to win where I was at. And he came out and the door was like 2:30 in the morning. He said, hey man, you know, everybody looking for you, whatever. Are you okay? I was like, yeah, man, just, you know, going through a lot. So he called Linda on the phone. Linda died, that's her phone. She was the EAP lady for Richmond County. And she said, I tried to, you know, reach back to you. You said you was going to come back, which I did. I remember the whole thing. I said, I did. And phone actually went dead. And I was so lazy to go home. I was just tired. I just wanted to sleep. And he said, hey man, I want to get you help. We want to send you to Harbor of Grace. Harbor of Grace is in Maryland. It's Harbor of Grace, but it's in the city of Harbor of Grace, Maryland. And he said, all right, cool. He said, when can you go? I said, man, just give me about a week. He said, no, man, you can go now. So, not the next day, but 2 days later, I was brought up here by Sergeant Parrish, and he took me to the airport. And I flew out there. Make one story, I stayed there 21 days. I came home, and still just feeling like, you know, foggy and everything, still dealing with a lot. Coming up to my daughter's birthday, it was 2 days before I came home for my birthday. I came home on the 6th. My daughter's birthday was on the 8th. And they let me go early. Usually a 28-day program, but my therapist and the counselor at the time was like, hey, you know, we showing progress, you're doing good. I'm gonna let you go home early. Okay, cool. After I got home, this guy hit me up. He said, hey man, you know, I want to talk about mental health. You know, you sharing some couple posts, which I was at the time. You know, sharing my transparency and stuff. He said, man, you gonna do an interview? I said, yeah, man, it's cool. And we did. At this time, I was in the process of coming to Snellville, and he called me and said I was on the way back. I was on the way back to Augusta. Atlanta. I was coming back from Augusta. Had to go and get some stuff situated for my daughter. Cause that's when I got full custody of my daughter. Yeah, she lived with my mom. Yeah, thank you. She lived with my mom, so I make sure, you know, my mom is able, so I try to make sure they're good. And he said, hey man, I just got on the phone with this guy named Scott Hudson. And he said, he saw the interview you did with me. I just talked to him about 30 minutes, man. He said, he wants your number, man, so he can call you or whatever. I said, well, just send me his number. I'm driving, and I might call him when I stop, which I did. I called this guy. He asked me like 2 questions about mental health. And the first thing he asked after that, he was like, how you know Police Harris? First thing that came out of my mouth, because I knew he had a conversation recorded, I said, who the fuck is that? And he said, well, you know, that's the person that got killed in October last year that supposedly was exposing straight men. I said, Okay, what they got to do with me? He said, well, my sources tell me that you've been involved in a homicide. I was like, fuck you, the sources who told you that, you kissed my ass. And that was it.
Who was this guy?
He worked for Augusta News Press. It's not even an official news outlet, but that's what I actually looked up to see some of the staff that worked there. Matter of fact, I knew a guy that worked there, currently named Michael Myers. You know, he called me 2 days later. He was like, hey man, Tyrus told me, the guy I did this interview with, he said, he told me what happened, man. He was upset. He asked you some bullshit or whatever. He said, no, I'm sorry about that. And I said, no, man, it's cool, man, or whatever. I said, I don't know who this guy is or what he's referring to or whatever. You know, maybe I think 3 days later, I got to see. The article came out July 29th. And I don't know if you saw it.
No, I haven't. I have not seen
it.
it.
I got it right here on my phone still. And it's saying that basically that I was supposedly hung out with a guy named Gunslinger that stripped this person's car down to victim, and basically all types of conspiracy stuff. And they asked me, and even CID from Richmond County asked me. I don't know nobody name that was in the article. They had that person named Felicia Harris, somebody named Taylor Gunslinger. They asked me, did I hang out at a shop on Spring Grove Drive? I know what Spring Grove Drive is. They said it was an auto shop over there. I even Googled it. I've been Googling this place, man, for the last 4 days. Just look, I don't know. Never been over there. Never hung out with the person named Gunslinger. If they were standing in the room right now, well, you know who the hell they are. Never been around either one of these persons. Never had a conversation with either one of these individuals. You know, don't even know who is Taylor, the other person that was in the article or whatever. And he said, why would your name come up in it? I have no clue. I have no clue. They didn't ask me where I was that day, anything, you know. But that was Tuesday. And we got Friday. They haven't heard nothing from them or whatever. But so when I got a phone call from Richmond County, I told us in the penalty. I said, hey, I just got a phone call from Sheriff's Office, my old department, in reference to this, and he told me. The next day I got an email from Captain about an IE investigation about it. So.
We're at the post headquarters located at 5000 Austell Powder Springs Road. Present speaking is Investigator Steve Goodyear from the Georgia Post Council Investigative Division. This one is related solely to your law enforcement certification or certifications. I believe you have several, right?
Yes, sir.
Obviously, a big flag that came out to us post is that you were considered to be a person of interest in a homicide investigation. And this happened in 2020, from my understanding, correct?
Yeah, it happened in 2020, yeah.
When was the first interaction you had with them about this?
July 29th.
July 29th?
Yeah, when the article came out, they called me, the investigator called me a couple days later. This year, yeah.
So you weren't aware that you were a person of interest in April of 2020 when you started the hiring process with Snellville?
Correct.
And you had never been told by anybody that you were a person of interest?
Nobody.
So failure to disclose or discuss this, you didn't know about it?
I didn't know about it.
Okay. So then, as I said, I've discussed this with Richmond County. Our next concern was whether or not you are a person of interest, and they've satisfied me that you're not. So we're not going to dive into this.
Okay.
Do you have any idea why you would have been named a person of interest?
People jealous, man.
Who would be jealous of you to?
My child mother. She's the one that told them that I sexually assaulted my daughter. I've been had cussing my daughter 8 years old. She'll be 9 in March. I've been had cussing my daughter since she was 3 years old. And she just, I promise you, matter of fact, when the FBI and GBI did all the investigation with my daughter, my daughter even told them my dad didn't take these pictures of me because it was pictures of my daughter nude.
We haven't gotten into that one yet.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about the homicide thing.
I understand. Yeah, but just jealous, man.
So you think your baby's mama? Were y'all married? I don't want to use the wrong term.
No.
Y'all weren't married. And this is Candace Hall we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think she's the one who?
I'm pretty sure she is.
Okay. Either way, the only thing that we could find that led you to be a person of interest was that news article.
Yeah.
And they didn't name their source. They didn't actually name you. You named yourself.
Yeah, but everybody. I mean, if you where I'm from, I'm very popular, man. If you Google my name right now, you'll see all the articles that I did in my community when I was a cop, man. You know, I did so much in that community. Everybody knows because if you read the first article, it said went to a mental health facility. Everybody knew what they was talking about because my family was at the time, my brother, you know, let it be known on social media, like, so everybody knew who they was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody doing nothing in that community as far as law enforcement wise. Now since I've been gone, so everybody knew who they was talking about. So
it said a social influencer. Were you a social influencer?
yeah, I was. Yeah,
So they were referring to you in that. And then
Yeah.
when they mentioned the issue that you had gone to a mental health facility, that was you too?
yeah, that was me.
What was that in reference to?
Just depression, man. You know, I lost my uncle in 2009. Brandon Forrest, he was a professional boxer in Atlanta. He got shot 8 times in the back and robbed. Dealing with that depression, man. Law enforcement wise, man. Just and the AP lady at the time, I don't know if she's still there. Military, that goes, you know. Yeah.
And you were continued to be employed with Richmond County
Correct.
while you were there?
Yep.
When did you get back from
I
that?
went there for 21 days. Came back. I went there in February.
21?
Uh-huh.
21?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said Michigan, was it?
I'm sorry, Maryland. Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah, Harbor of Grace is what it's called.
So your agency cleared you to put you back on duty,
Yep.
fitting for duty and all that, and when you got back?
Yep.
Because I know you still remained employed there.
Yeah, I did.
Are you a person of interest or suspect in the murder investigation from Richmond County as indicated in the article?
No.
Okay. So, no one has ever contacted you from Richmond County?
Yeah, they actually called me Tuesday, but they were just asking me questions about the related to the article, like how I know the person. They asked me was I working that day.
They call it.
And he said, why would your name come up in it? I have no clue. I have no clue. They didn't ask me where I was that day, anything.
So, this
Investigative
past
Amos.
2 days ago,
Yeah,
you were contacted by Richmond County?
yeah, Investigator Amos.
By Amos?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the extent of his questioning?
He basically asked me, do I know the person? How I got in touch with Steve Hudson. I don't even know who that was until I did an interview with this guy named Tyrus Tillman about mental health. I went out to a facility in Maryland, Harvard Grace.
Okay.
It's called Harvard Upgrades. That's where it's actually at in Maryland for law enforcement officers and military personnel.
Okay.
They're going through some type of depression and everything, in which I was. I went there, I stayed there for 21 days. I came back, did an interview with this guy about it, just sharing my transparency with, people. This guy reached out to him. He said, hey, this guy named Steve Hudson got in touch with me and said, hey, he saw the interview, he liked it or whatnot, and we talked about 30 minutes about mental health, and he wanted to talk to you about doing the interview. I said, yeah, cool. I'm heading back to Atlanta. I'm coming back from Augusta. I used to stay in Augusta, visit my daughter. And I said, yeah, just send me his number. I'll give him a call when I get to Atlanta, which I did. I got here. He called me. He asked me about 2 questions about mental health. And the first thing he asked me, he said, how do you know Felicia Harris? The first thing I said, who the fuck is that? And he said, that's the person that got killed in Augusta last October. That was, I guess, exposing straight men that was messing around with him or whatever. I was like, okay, what the fuck they got to do with me? Just like that. And he said, well, multiple sources told him that I was involved in a homicide. I was like, well, you can tell your multiple sources they can kiss my ass, and you can kiss my ass. And that was the end of the discussion. And 2 days later, somebody screenshotted me that article about it, or whatever. My name wasn't in it, of course. This past Tuesday, got a call from investigators in Richmond County about the same thing. They told me that I'm not a suspect, a suspect in interest, or I'm not a suspect in this case. I guess they get followed through whatever they do or whatever, and now I'm here.
Okay. Do you know why the article would say that you are a person of interest in the murder investigation?
I don't know. I don't have a clue. I don't know that person. Don't know their names, or the individuals in that article or anything. I don't know. I don't have a clue. I don't know that person. Don't know their names. Don't know their names. Or the individuals in that article or anything.
Okay. So you've never met Harris? You've
No.
never been acquainted with her?
No.
Were you familiar with her before all this started?
No.
Okay. All right. So since this has happened, are you aware of any other media or social media information that points to you as a person of interest in any other offense besides this one?
Oh, that's it. That's all I know of.
That's all you know of?
Yeah.
So when you talked to Richmond County, he just had a couple of basic questions for you. And
Yeah,
it was all based off of that article.
Based off that article, like, why would they say your name? Do I know Gunslinger? Do I know Taylor? Don't know who that is. Have I ever hung out at an auto shop there on Spring Road Drive? I know what Spring Road Drive is, but I don't know what. I even Googled it, try to see if it's an auto shop over there. Don't even know what the hell they're talking about, man. So I don't know who those people are or why they're associating me with that.
Okay. All right. So you're saying that you don't know who this gunslinger guy is?
No, I don't.
Or anybody that goes by that name or anything else? And you've never been to the shop where her vehicle was apparently dropped off?
No.
Okay, Officer Forrest, I'm going to go ahead and ask you the question. Were you involved in planning, assisting, participating, or cover-up of the homicide of Felicia Harris?
No, sir.
Okay, information that was outlined in the post said that the reason why you left Richmond County was to distance yourself from this investigation. Is that accurate?
No, the reason why I left, I mean, I haven't posted anything about it, but the reason why I did left Richmond County, because when I came back, they told me, hey, you'll be back on the road, which just didn't happen. They put me in transportation inside the jail. They took my pay from me. I couldn't work specials, and I was struggling. I got full custody of my daughter, and I wasn't making ends meet there, so that was my reason why I left that department.
Yes.
You said when you got back to Richmond County, back from where?
The Harbor Grace place, the mental health place, the place that they sent me.
Did they tell you that had anything to do with why they were doing what they were doing? Do you think it did?
You have
no idea?
I have no idea, man.
Okay.
I have no idea. But that's what I was told from the chief and the major when I had a meeting when I came back. It was like, we'll put you here, and I couldn't work specials, and they took my money basically.
Okay, and this is going to follow right up with the next question. During your oral interview that you did with then Assistant Chief Perry and Lieutenant Matson, you stated that you wanted to come work for us because your fiancée had gotten a job in Gwinnett, and you wanted to come here as well.
Yeah, she did. We ended up breaking up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she was
and-
coming.
Yeah.
So was that the reason, or was it because
That was one of the reasons. I didn't go
that
into
was just
details.
that was
Yeah.
just one of
I
them?
never told nobody the distinct reason why.
Right.
Because, about the business, but that's one of the reasons why I left there.
Okay.
Whatever. And that
So she
another
was getting a job here?
reason. Yeah, she's a therapist.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Is that how you ended up choosing this place to shoot?
Well, I didn't
for?
know about Snellville because Bert Daly used to work with you guys, and she had told me about you guys about 2 years ago. I was telling Richmond County, yeah, and I told her I just keep it in the back of my mind, But yeah, my girlfriend ended up snagging a job up here. Don't know the condition of it or whatever, but we ended up breaking up actually a week before I moved here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to draw the connection between, going to get help for something, and then all of a sudden now you're being accused. I read some of the articles online talking about a cover-up.
Yeah.
You being in law enforcement, people down there know you're in law enforcement. How are they? There's a reason that these dots are being connected, or if someone's putting it on you. Can you offer an explanation of why you're being?
If I knew, man, I'd tell you. I don't know. I mean, I don't know this person. Never even talked to this person. Don't know who this guy gunslinger is. Taylor, don't even know who that is. Don't even know if it was a man or a female. I don't know. I don't know why the hell. I get a phone call or a text saying, hey, man, did you see the article on Facebook about you? I don't know, man. I ain't never fucking hurt nobody, man.
Outside of the actual murder itself, any assistance in maybe helping somebody cover a crime up or anything like that, disposing of evidence, cleaning evidence, sanitizing something?
I'll never do no shit like that, man. My uncle got shot and killed in Atlanta in 2009, man. 8 fucking times by 3 guys. That's currently serving time in prison right now, life without parole. The one reason why I became a fucking cop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why my name come up in this shit, man. I just went through some shit with my daughter, man, with IA in Augusta, man, 2018, man. It's I don't know what the fuck, my name come up in something like that, man. It's no evidence point me to this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I got to sit here now. I'm worried about how people view me now in my hometown.
It's just curious. I'm trying to figure out, like you said, why would somebody randomly pick your name out unless they knew you, had a vendetta involved, something like that? I'm trying to make the connection.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Somebody got it out for me, obviously.
What were you referring to? You said something about an IA in
Yeah,
2018 with your daughter.
My child mother sent naked pictures of my